Hello kids, Daddy's here. Right now, Daddy will show you an Italian romance film from 2007 titled Manual of Love 2. Prepare your snacks to feel the cringe and crunch. Be a good kid and subscribe to Daddy's channel. Spoilers ahead, watch out. The film is divided into 4 parts, all of which revolve around the concept of love. Beginning the first part is a man named Nicola who is driving his car. He collides with another car after driving into a tunnel. The accident left Nicola paralyzed in the legs, and he is being treated in that hospital alongside Dario, who is also a victim of the accident. They appear to be forgiving one another and enjoying themselves in the hospital until the nurses stop Nicola and Dario. When they get back to their room, a beautiful woman named Lucia walks in and introduces herself as Nicola's new physiotherapist. Nicola is astounded by her beauty. In their first session of therapy, while Lucia is doing her job, Nicola is having wild fantasies about her, resulting him to covers it with a towel, but Lucia tells him not to be embarrassed by it. One day, when Nicola strolling at the hospital park, he noticed Lucia lying down and hearing music. He began staring at her and imagining what he would do to her body. While strolling by himself, Nicola observes Lucia talking with another nurse. He doesn't get the attention he wants from Lucia, so, in order to get her attention, he rides outside the hospital building. His plans succeed as Lucia leaves the conversation and rushes to take Nicola back to his room. Nicola is getting better and better after arduous sessions with Lucia. He can now stand up and slowly move his legs. When he returns to his room, he finds Dario packing up his belongings. Dario informs him that the doctor said he has a little to no chance of ever walking again. Before Dario leaves, Nicola gives him a hug and encourages him. Lucia goes to the club that night with her friends to celebrate her upcoming marriage. However, Lucia exits the bar, and then she has a fleeting thought about Nicola. She hails a cab and heads straight for the hospital. She enters Nicola's room and asks him to join her in drinking beer. She takes him to the hospital canteen and kisses him. She informs Nicola she is getting married and decides to fulfill all of her fantasies with him. She gives Nicolas a piece of heaven on earth. The next day, Nicola's girlfriend comes to take him home. Nicola declares in his head that he will forget what had happened with Lucia and continue his relationship happily with his girlfriend. As they leave the hospital, they run into a fat woman who introduces herself as the new physiotherapist. Nicola thinks about Lucia as he looks at her. The second part begins with a couple named Franco and Manuela. Manuel purposefully humiliates Franco by telling every guest that Franco can't have children because his sperm is too weak. She is forced to leave the restaurant by Franco, who is embarrassed by this, and they return home. That night at midnight, Manuel wakes Franco up and tells him she loves him. She apologizes, and they hug. They visit a doctor to discuss their problem. The doctor says that Manuel can have a baby via artificial insemination. Manuel is thrilled that, after a few months of marriage, she can have a baby. They visit Spain to continue the artificial insemination. At the hospital, Franco is informed that he must be strong and healthy, so his sperm will be in the good quality. Franco and Manuel run into another couple as they leave the hospital. Along with the couple, they enjoy a trip to the beach. After the trip, Franco gets a fever. Manuel warned him and said she would leave him if he was unable to fertilize an egg. Lucky for Franco, the doctor calls and informs him that his sperm is capable to fertilize an egg. The procedure starts with the doctor implanting the egg in Manuel's uterus. During his wait at the airport, Franco imagines about his son playing football with him. When they have the gender scan, they learn that their child is a girl. Franco is disappointed, but he tries not to show it. The third part begins with a 40-year-old gay named Filippo. One day, Filippo attends his boyfriend, Fosco's, younger sister's wedding. After the wedding, she claims that she didn't throw her flowers because she knows who will get married next. She announces that Fosco and Filippo are next, and throws the flowers at him, making their father gets up from the table and leaves. Following his father, Fosco makes an effort to explain the situation. However, Fosco's father, a typical Italian Southern man, does not tolerate his son's relationship and disowns him. Fosco and Filippo, as well as having this problem, know that in Italy they cannot get married or even take on the upbringing of a child because the laws do not permit such things. After they have been fighting over these issues, Fosco is beaten up by homophobes. He is soon visited in hospital by Filippo, who promises to go to Spain where he will marry him. The fourth part begins with a highly regarded waiter named Ernesto who works in an expensive restaurant in Rome. He has a wife and children, although his life lacks passion. One day Ernesto meets Cecilia, an Argentinian girl who works in the same restaurant with him as a dishwasher. They start to develop feelings to one another and begin an affair. Ernesto cares deeply for Cecilia because he is aware of the pain she is currently experiencing as a result of her father's abandonment when she was a child. One day, Cecilia goes with Ernesto to a wild late-night party, but suddenly he has a heart attack. At the hospital, Ernesto realizes that the youthful life of Cecilia no longer suits him. So, the two decide to end their affair while agreeing to remain friends. That's all for today, kids. Help Daddy by like and subscribe. See you on the next videos.